Do you feel like you're on calls with potential clients and you're just spinning in circles, going round and around and not getting the results you want? Well, in today's video, we're talking about the 6 things that you can do to increase your conversion rate and to have a better call with potential clients. First thing is to generate curiosity, right? People want to be curious enough about your product or service that they're interested in seeing more of what you have to offer. That doesn't mean it will be a sales conversation or that will automatically result in something, but if they've already interacted with you, we call that warm, right? They already kind of know you. Odds are they may be just interested enough to know a little more details. So you make them a little curious. With this particular example, we've been talking back and forth on Facebook. She watched some of my live videos, asked questions, was very engaging. And so afterwards I said, hey, thanks for all the input. I appreciate your support on my page. I'd love to talk a little bit offline and see what you're all about and how I can help.
How are you? How are you today? And it's so nice to meet you one way or the other. I'm very, very curious and honored to be able to, that you took this time to connect with me, because I am very interested to learn more about you and what you're all about.
So once you acknowledge that someone's curious, they want to know more about you, step number 2 is to give them a little bit of background. And I like to break that up into 2 parts, right? The first part is who you are and what you do. It's pretty basic. Everyone says, hey, I'm Candice. I'm a coach. I host a podcast. I give trainings. This is what I'm about. That's pretty basic. But in order for someone to know if they'd be good for working with you or not, or continuing the relationship, you have to go to the second part, which is how you do it and why you do it that way. So I talk a lot about my mission, what I've seen, some examples, brief case studies, right? That way, within a 2 to 5 minute time span, someone understands your world a little bit more and they can see themselves either fitting in or they know someone who may be interested. So that's step 2, right? Explaining your vision, who you are, what you do, and why you do it that way and how it would look like to work with you. Oh, well, thank you. I definitely appreciate it. And I've been doing well. I've had a pretty good week. I'm launching my podcast training program. So a lot of people listen to my show or have been guests. They say, man, I've always wanted to start my own podcast, but it seems so complicated. So I'm trying to make it easier for them. So that's kind of the current project I'm working on with just a small group of entrepreneurs, kind of walking them step by step through the process, giving them resources so that it won't be as overwhelming. But with my show, Mental Cement, I really wanted to use the principles I learned in coaching, because I got certified in coaching. I practice, coaching individuals from a neurological level, like what goes on in your brain that creates the thoughts, feelings, actions, etc. And what I found was that many times people, they'd come and they wanted an action change, but that couldn't happen without first changing mindset. And then 2, to give people a platform. I call them the not brads, right? The women entrepreneurs, minority entrepreneurs, people that we don't see on the cover of Entrepreneur or Forbes, right? We see the Zuckerberg image and think that that's what success looks like. And there are so many female-run or minority-run businesses that are doing incredible things. And I wanted to highlight those as well. So that's kind of the rundown of what I'm all about.
That is just beautiful. And you're in Charlotte?
Yep, I'm based out of Charlotte, North Carolina.
Okay. Wow. But I imagine that your entrepreneurial network is everywhere.
Yeah, there are people. I'm working with a guy now in Canada to do a workshop. So we're really all over, which is pretty amazing. I never would have imagined that.
I think that's beautiful. I mean, I think that speaks to you and who you are, that you're open to that and that you're attracting, that globally, because people are the same everywhere, right? And we're all looking for that that success and that connection.
Step 3. What's their mission and how can you be of service? And this is the fun part, because again, we want to ask them questions, get them talking. They should talk more than you are. So for instance, asking them, what are your goals? What are you trying to accomplish? And then once they explain that, how can I help you? because then you're allowing them to see you as part of the solution. So that's the third step, is really understanding what goals they're trying to achieve, how they're going about it, and what they can potentially see as a match between you. I'd love to know more about you and your business and your mission, and see how Mental Cement and I can be of service to you and help you reach any of those goals that you're having, or shift any mindsets or anything, or get your message out.
I of all of the things you said, I think get the message out is the most important.
Step 4, people care more about you than your business. I repeat it, people care more about you as a person than your business. So instead of trying to sell them on the services and what you do, let them really get to know you. Talk about your mission, talk about the things you love about them, really get to connect with them on a human level. And that's going to make the difference, because there's so many people doing what I'm doing, teaching podcasting or coaching, but nobody's doing it just like me, with my excitement, with my hand movements, right? With my Candice-ness. And so it's the same with you. So when you're talking, keep that in mind and highlight the aspects of you that are unique, instead of trying to make a business unique when it may or may not be.
To me, it's about people, and I just wanted to put a human being behind the icon on the Facebook page. And like I said, I had intended to be on the Zoom call sitting in front of the screen, but it's just been a different day than I expected, and I'm going with the flow here.
Step 5. The more you ask about them, the more they'll ask about you. And this is important, because especially on Facebook and social media, people want to just tell you everything about their business. But it's important, if they ask, let them know, but ask about them. Actually be curious. Truly seek to understand before you seek to be understood. And by human nature, if you're saying, why do you do it that way? What are your goals? When did you start this? What made you think of that? That's such a cool idea, right? And give them some time. They'll say, well, what do you do? What are you up to? How can I support you? And then they're genuine. Instead of saying, hey, I'd love it if you share this, let them ask. Then they're more likely to follow through, and they're more likely to actually listen to and care about the things that you're saying. I definitely appreciate connecting. I appreciate hearing your story, your mission. You clearly have a lot of passion for this. You clearly are so committed to your work, and I definitely respect that. And I like being around people who are committed, even if it's in something completely different than what I'm doing.
Well, how can I serve you?
6, make yourself referable. Give them enough information that if they don't decide to work with you, they have someone in their head that they can say, wow, I spoke with this person. Here's what they do. Here's who they help. Here's how they do it. And here's why I think you'd be a good fit. Many times we try so hard to give them all the details and to give them the steps, but sometimes if you just give them enough where they can go and repeat that to someone else in a clear and concise way, it does the job for you. And you don't have to keep reaching out to more and more people, but the people you speak to will refer others to your biz.
That sounds wonderful, and I will do that, because someone like you, I have to say, is rare. So I'm in the entrepreneurial world constantly, and so now that I know more about who you are, I can refer. And like you said, once the awareness is there, I'll understand more when I see things come across from you.
So to conclude, put out enough consistent content that people genuinely want to know more about your business. When you get on the call with them, explain who you are and what you do, but more importantly, tell them how you do it and why you do it that way. Allow them to connect with you, right? Ask them more questions than you give answers. Ask them about themselves. What's their mission? And how can you be of service? And the more you talk about them, the more they're going to want to know about you, because that's human nature. And lastly, make yourself referable. Give them the information. Don't have all the jargon. Don't make it too complicated, but make it simple and clear enough that they can tell it to someone else and refer you. That's it for today. Thanks for checking us out. Be sure, share this video with someone who needs a little help, and As always, keep building that mental cement.